So, just a quick introduction. As you may remember from before, Aiden, there's Alex, there's Deacon, and then there's Adam, who's a new person. Would you like to introduce yourself? One thing you like, one thing you hate, all the things that, your deepest secrets, your PIN number, Wi-Fi number.
Any childhood pets,
Just kidding, no one cares. So anyway, let's move to our next part. We are going to 2020. Everyone went quiet there. We're going to 2020. What does everyone feel about the year?
2021.
Yeah, do you mean 2021, bro?
Oh, yeah. So I thought, So I thought our next, honestly, last time we had to talk about childhoods. This time we have to talk about the reason why life sucks, which everyone already knows. But yeah, on always, it's Andrew does the intro. Blame him.
Yes, blame Andrew.
Can we do that for everything in life? Just blame Andrew.
Yeah, when in doubt, blame Andrew. Oh, so what's happening?
I don't know.
It's a pretty broad question.
I think you guys could probably tell me what's happening. I've seen it everywhere now. 9-foot big vampire lady with mummy milkers, Resident Evil. I think you've seen it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to choke?
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The vampire lady.
Yeah.
With her daughters,
feel bad.
The new Resident Evil game.
Yeah, they tried to make an actual scary character, and she just became a basically sex icon slash meme.
Trailer for the new Resident Evil game. I didn't know what you're on about.
It's everywhere. I see it everywhere. And I'm just don't know why everyone cares. Probably it's just because, the reasons I said, big vampire lady with mummy milkers. But
I mean,
I don't play Resident Evil. I don't know if there's a lore behind it, but everyone's fucking going crazy about it.
There's been nothing like that in a previous Resident Evil game, so.
Is she like the first female? I don't play Resident Evil, so is she like the first female villain character?
No, because there was Resident Evil 7 had some, and then there was Jill goes evil in some of the games. Yeah, it doesn't play games.
Okay. But she's just the first one that just looks like that, and everyone just
the first one that's a big
for the hill.
Is Alex so graciously put it, big spider lady with milkies.
I could just a bit when she runs through the door. I must have seen that 100 times. Never played any Resident Evil games, but I've seen that scene 1,000 times. Just her going, "So we finally meet."
I can't even pronounce her last name.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a last name?
I can't even pronounce it.
She has a name.
We put it in the chat. Look.
Wait, roll back. Women have
What? Lady Deacon, her first name isn't Lady, by the way.
Yeah, that's what it says. That's the title. You always say the title first, like Mister.
Yep.
I've never seen anyone Mister.
Like when you say that someone's name, like Lord.
What's your name, Mister?
We're not even 10 minutes in left. Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
Let's go to my next montage.
Is anyone else doing it on their phone because they're too cheap to buy a laptop, or is it just me?
You haven't got a laptop?
I had a laptop. There was an incident. Honestly,
touch wood. I keep saying that every time. It's going to die one day. But this laptop's lasted me since... So when I left secondary school, joining college. So 5 years now. And it still works.
There you go. There she is. Find me.
Who?
Or is that your
Who are
girlfriend?
the people next to them?
Yeah.
Miss and Mrs.
There's a few of them there.
I mean, eight legs aside, I'm sure she's very lovely. I don't know.
Yeah, but I
Remember
bet
her
she
actual
doesn't
full name? Is that what you
I
want?
bet she doesn't like small men.
Oh, she's got nothing to worry about with me then. Maybe.
You were once my height, not that old braggy.
I was once shorter than you, bro. 4 foot,
God.
fuck all.
Honestly, I remember when a lot of people used to be smaller than me. Me.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you went from the age of like 14 to 20 in the space of a year.
Yeah, and then now I'm just like a really small.
Shaving in like year 10 and 11 because you didn't want it.
That was it. I used to shave every week, and people were like, "Nah, you can't grow a beard." It's like, no, I have to shave because of cadets. They made me shave.
Yeah, and I was a kid who used to lie about shaving. Like, oh yeah, I could definitely grow a facial hair. I just shave. It looks weird. And I still do that now. I'm still a
God. Well, yeah, we shaved this morning. Yeah.
Can I quickly intervene? I need to confess something, but I don't know if Adam remembers it. And I think I mentioned it in the last podcast, or I can't remember if I just said it when we was catching up.
Do you remember when I broke your leg? Yes.
Adam, I just like playing jokes on people, but Adam left himself logged in on the desk tech computer, and I saw his coursework on the desktop, and I was like, oh, hello. And I put in the folder, and then his whole desktop was filled with folders, and then those folders was filled with more folders, and then those folders were more folders, and then somewhere it was his coursework, and I think he deleted it from what I heard.
Delete it. It just
Did
physically
he search it up, or did B delete all?
My coursework.
So wait, did you actually lose it?
Yeah, I lost.
Yeah, he did.
Started from the beginning, and I had like half the time to do it in now, so I had to somehow remember everything I'd already done, and somehow still got a B. That's a weird flex, but I just want to chuck it out there.
God have mercy on me.
Oh, mate.
I thought that was Pierce who did that. I always got told it was Pierce.
Me, 100%. I remember it. You left yourself logged in on the second computer next to the door.
Why do you remember that?
I remember everything. But
honestly, have you ever said that before? Like, I'm pretty.
Yeah, I told you when we was catching up.
I can't remember now, but I remember Adam getting all worked up about it as well. And then,
yeah, I was in the lesson and I was having like a little mini like freak out / like wanting to punch Miss Campbell in the face for no particular reason.
I shouldn't laugh. It's bad, but it's funny. But I'm sorry, and that's why I had to confess.
Oh, it will be all right. Don't worry about it. And I'm just like, there was so many folders I had to look in to see if I don't know how many there were, but it made up the entire desktop.
Now you have closure. It wasn't Pierce, it was me.
I still hate Pierce anyway because he broke my wrist. But
whoa, he broke your wrist? How?
What? Do you not remember?
Dude,
stole his shoe?
No.
Yeah.
So Pierce, out of nowhere, decided he was fucking Bruce Lee, and like spun kicked my wrist while I was like pointing at something. And yeah, I remember saying, to Mr. Mason or something, I think I broke my wrist, and him just looking at me like, "Now you're fine, walk it off." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've just broke my wrist. 20 minutes later, after I got sent out of maths because I was in searing pain, turns out I had a hairline fracture on my wrist.
Are you supposed to walk off a wrist fracture?
Well, see, that's what I...
Or do you want you to handstand out the room?
He was a des tech teacher. He didn't know fuck all about sports.
Was he a sports teacher as well, though?
Yeah.
So he started off as a PE teacher, then randomly started teaching des tech as well.
No, he was des tech first, then PE.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, I swear he was a filler because after...
Yeah.
What's his name? It was that black guy, then it was Mr. Lane, then it was that black guy. Then it was him after him.
There's a lot of things.
And so I remember it because the first day, all the girls were like, "Oh my god, Mr. Mason! Oh my god, it's insane." And then
Creamy.
and then Beardo had that thing with that psychology teacher. So he left the school, so he took over with Miss Celeste.
Remember, who was it in our? Was it whatever?
Sorry? Wait, what do you say?
Remember,
You can say background noise.
Yeah, Deacon, are you backing from road again?
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yep.
No, do you remember? I can't remember her last name, but it was Hannah something, and she was absolutely.
I'm gonna start beeping.
Mason, and she would make him so uncomfortable in lessons because she would say some vaguely sexual shit, and he'd just be like, "You are 16. Leave me the fuck alone."
Dude, she's crazy, Josh.
Oh. Yeah, I think you do mean Hannah. Because yeah,
she was nuts.
I remember.
Yeah, there was also Hannah.
Oh, possibly. I just remember in Death Tech, it's just literally here like odd, inappropriate, yet never gets told off line from her, and just in there like, okay, she's gonna throw up, and then Kyle sits down. Kyle, you get the fuck out. What are you doing?
No, that was Miss Tate's chemistry class. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a terrible teacher, honestly.
Yeah.
She was alright, but like damn.
One of the things I never got is basically we were doing our chemistry coursework, and she had previously told me that all of the work I'd done for mine was wrong when it wasn't, but apparently it was wrong. So I couldn't actually do any of the coursework because I needed to redo the experiment. So I was sitting there doing jack shit because I can't fill out the questions because all of my work is wrong. And then I remember Rachel started talking to me about something or other. I can't fucking remember. So Miss Tate comes up and like rips up her paper and then goes to rip up mine. And I'm like, it's pointless because I haven't written anything on it. But she rips it up anyway. And I'm like, you ripped up a blank piece of paper for no fucking reason.
She was absolutely shy, honestly.
You can hear me all right?
Moving, yeah. Moving swiftly back to 2020 is.
This is like childhood memory now. We've come with background.
Anyone?
2020.
Anyone enjoy 2020? You'd be the odd one out.
Define enjoy.
Yeah. Like, what did everyone do during the 2020-ness? I mean, like the lockdown and also before and after. Like, I essentially just did uni work, really.
Gonna be honest, nothing changed in my year. It's exactly the same, apart from like taking 2 weeks off for like coughing. That was about it.
God. Well, did you just have a cough, or were you just?
It was a start where they didn't know what the symptoms were and stuff like that. So like you start coughing, you go, I've got a dry cough, we got COVID. That was the parameter.
God.
Yeah, the original parameters were you could like sneeze and then someone would be like, COVID, go away. Even though COVID doesn't sneeze.
Even if it's a joke, you'll let the supervisor look at you, yeah, go. But now they actually check your temperature and everything.
Rock up at work and just go, oh, I've got COVID, I need to go home. Can I have 2 weeks off with pay, please?
I didn't get paid. That's the point of that's why most people in my work will probably hide it, which is a shame.
Oh, cool way to join the chat.
So what good things happened to people in 2020 then?
Wait, did anyone learn a new hobby? I know that was going around. Everyone learning how to cook or bake or whatever. I believe now they did.
Yeah, I learned how to bake.
What you baking, Alex? You making some cupcakes.
Okay, we did not promote anything here. We are a good, friendly Christian channel.
So we're all crackheads, yeah?
Yeah.
I still haven't used this yet.
Definitely. Well, you open up now? Wait,
No,
was
that
that like
was
for
Rick
5
and
years
Morty.
ago?
Rick and Morty flag, if it's going to show it.
No.
It's not
No,
showing.
it doesn't exist. Sorry.
It's like every time you try and mention it.
It's pretty close.
But I didn't do anything during 2020. Absolutely fuck all. I tried to pick up hobbies, but I just couldn't get into it.
You should have expanded
just-
the AKA. Take
I
it
just
to
done what I
the...
always did. Dominate ranked ladders on multiple games, like always. As I just too good. Oh,
Still happy.
that's it. I'm shit.
Just
I
just
just worked. That's just what I did. Work. Had some time off. Had some furlough.
Good God.
That's about it, really. What about you guys?
What about you, Adam?
Just kept up with my level working during the lockdowns, and that was about it.
Sucks, really. It really does.
Well, you do level working.
Yeah.
Is that inspired from when you used to collect sticks? If you remember. I'm fucking expanding brain. I can try to jog your memory. It was
Sticks.
It was ages ago. Like I can't even remember how old we were. But it was at a time where it was that plug full swing by that tree. And then you used to collect sticks and take them into that little fucking sex dungeon of yours, and used to like shave them a little bit into like swords and shit.
I used to. Do you mean when I used to do woodworking?
Yeah,
and collect sticks.
Oh yeah. I mean, you collect the sticks out, you know.
Sticks. I just took pieces of wood and then made them into other things.
Collect the sticks, basically.
No, I got into leather working quite randomly, but yeah, it's good fun. I make like wallets and belts and shit.
Stick bags.
Yes, I collect sticks, Alex. Are you happy now?
Do you remember when you like was it you that picked up the stone? Or maybe it was Blaber that picked up the stone and went, "Oh, this could potentially be iron."
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
that was...
But yeah. No, carry on with the story.
Oh, that was great. It was just like, oh yeah, we've got what iron mines that like lasted like 5 years and then they closed nearby.
They weren't even iron mines; they were coal mines. That's
Where
what
they-
first.
Oh god.
We should save it for like a
But
video,
yeah,
like great days out.
he picked up a clump of dirt, and it wasn't a rock. It was a clump of dirt that had a bit of orange something on it. I don't know what it was. And he was adamant that it was a piece of iron. I just took it off him and crushed it in my hand. It was just a
God.
clump of dirt.
Rip.
Should I get started with funny stories then?
Yeah, go for it.
Number 1, killer wasps. Yeah.
See?
Was that English?
Killer wasps, you said.
Yeah. Killer
What was
wasps.
What about?
You're gonna need a bit more than that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a bit more
No,
information than wasps.
No, I do not. Killer wasps. Yeah.
You
Anyway.
saying killer wasps or kilowatts?
Killer wasps. Yeah.
Kilowatts.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Do you? One thing I found out, which good old Brazil. Apparently, there was a sex party scandal at a restaurant.
Which restaurant for asking for a friend?
Yeah, well, it's in Brazil, so you got
Thanks for
to
asking
travel.
for me.
I have a passport.
I mean, perhaps that's where the new variant came out. But yeah. Apparently, they were quite fuming, the government, because a restaurant allowed this party to have a orgy, and it was during COVID. And I would hate to be the early parent bringing their children there.
Especially in the same room.
Somebody ordered the kids spaghetti, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This isn't the type of restaurant."
God. So anyway, next stage, Area 51. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, again, this is like a very old topic. It's been and gone. Like 10 people showed up, and that was it.
Yeah.
Wait, people actually showed up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you see that guy like Naruto, right?
Yeah,
I
less,
I thought it was a joke. I didn't think people were actually going.
Yeah.
out of how many
overpaid on
people
security.
like hundreds of thousands of people signed the petition, and only 20 showed up, as in 20 individual people,
God.
or something like that. I can't remember. But it was literally, it was like the US military saying, don't try and raid Area 51. And then they posted a video of someone on like a heavy duty machine gun that guards one of the walls, and it's firing like thousands of rounds a minute. And it's like, you know what? I might give it a miss.
God. So I like the 2020 because like every month there was something. So January was like Area 51, I think. February, it was one or the other. It might have been February Area 51, and January was potential world war, because it seems like distant history now. But when like India and Pakistan were having like little odds that fight each other, and then there was issue in Iran where soldiers were just firing missiles at British/American military bases. And like there was just all this stuff going on, and people were just like, "Oh, a third war is forming, a third war."
Yeah, they've World War III every year for like the past 3 years. I swear.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, to be fair, yeah. When I say everyone, I just mean the immature comedic people
Yeah,
that
so
don't win. Yeah. Who essentially are going to be all my friends left really at the end, but yeah, that was the gist of it. And then March was COVID, because that's when the global finally admit that there was a problem, despite the problem has been forming for the last 2 months.
Stop hiding it from everyone else.
And then in April came Killer Wasps. Yeah.
I still don't know what the fuck you're on about with Killer Wasps.
I have a quick question. What are you resting your horn on for it to stand up? You have a stand for it?
Yeah.
Excuse me, does that have to do with 2020?
I was just
No.
curious.
So shut up.
The stand
in 2020.
What? One of the best Christmas presents I ever got. I fucking love that thing. I exclusively drink out of it now. Doesn't matter what it is. Orange juice, drink it out of the horn. Apple juice, drink it out of the horn. Any juice, drink it out of the horn.
Question is, where's the other one?
Where's the other one?
The other horn? You didn't take that off a unicorn, did you?
No, it was a rhino. I went to Africa and just had a field day.
Of all my friends, I believe you could have done that.
I can't remember what it was. An ox or something. I don't know. My brother got it for me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I drank out of it, I spilt everything that was in it down myself, just because it's at an angle. So
Yeah, I bet it's difficult to drink. Yeah.
Isn't it? I thought it would be funny for the video.
Right. So you guys, you gotta say something about this next one, because it is genius. All right. Some 40-year-old man. Okay, 40-year-old man, 42 to be precise. Legitimate. He wasn't drunk. It wasn't a dare. He legitimate got a tattoo of Boris Johnson's face.
I would.
Why don't we quickly look around for any carers?
Aiden just left.
Oh, he's back.
So think about that.
So
okay, wait.
I thought about it.
Okay, what do you guys think about? I don't know if you've seen it on the news. I think everyone's seen it, but the GameStop stocks of Wall Street bets taking down Wall Street.
Yeah, I was actually using
Incredible.
the because it was through a company which was Robinhood like stock trading, which is quite ironic considering Robinhood was taking the money from the rich and giving it to the poor. So there was all of these broke ass like Redditors basically just manipulated the market in a completely legal way. Like nothing about what they did was illegal. Manipulated it so the stocks for GameStop went from being worth, I think it was like $20
or something like that.
Yeah, it was like $3 a share to $300 a share. So people were buying, well, 30 quid or $30 worth of shares, and suddenly they've like increased their profits by like 100%. By 1,000%.
It's kind of interesting actually, because I actually I watched a couple of interviews on it, and apparently on this sort of massive scale, it technically is illegal. But what makes it so difficult is that it wasn't.
Yeah,
because if you had a company that worked in that sort of way, or a team of people who work in that sort of way, you're breaking the law because you're manipulating the stock markets. I like the fact Deacon's keeping with the conversation.
Yeah,
you're my man, Deacon. I mean, the Queen's always relevant, so I'm also keeping up. And there's always somewhere out there. There's always a door. So Adam's there. Well done, Adam.
There's no difference between what they did to what they do in Wall Street.
No, but but Wall not Wall Street actually, but in essence, Wall Street, what they do is against the law, but it's quite difficult to kind of sit there and say, actually manipulate at a large scale by saying, like, let's say us four work together and we all invest in one thing to manipulate, because if you got 100 people all investing in the stocks, it's clearly going to make a massive change to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not illegal, because that's how stock markets work. Because if you look at it this way, as soon as you put money into a stock market, that money has now essentially zero value. It's not a physical thing anymore because it's in the stock market.
Yeah.
Value depends on the value of that stock. So the money is based on a stock value as opposed to a gold value. So there's nothing illegal about increasing the values of a certain company to make your investment worth more.
No, individually, no. But if you got a team of people all specifically going for it, which is trading. Because even the guy who, the Wolf of Wall Street, based on the real man, even he was saying in an interview that technically, from the company point of view, what everyone was doing was illegal to a extent, because it was encouraged, wasn't it? Everyone was kind of going, invest.
Yeah,
but because it was just a bunch of random people, most of which probably didn't have that much interest beforehand, and just went, I'll invest in these stocks because everyone else is doing it, and therefore benefit from it, and it was just hysterical. But in theory, it's gonna go crashing back down, as stocks always do. So we're too late to it, boys.
Well, if you wanted to get into it, Dogecoin is a good market in a minute. It's another cryptocurrency, but it's currently on the rise. So it drops down every now and again, but then it goes back up to where you're still making it. So if you were going to invest in anything, Dogecoin at the minute is probably your best bet, like safest bet to make a couple of $100 on.
Dogecoin is a meme. Actually, it's now a legitimate currency.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it went up about 300%.
So much history just happened in 1 week. It's insane.
It's mental. But so what they were accusing those traders of doing is because, in a very misconstrued way, they could say, "Oh, it's insider trading," but it's not insider trading because they don't have a physical stake in the company. It's not like they work for that company. If they worked for it, that's insider trading. That's very illegal. But none of them worked for the company, so it's kind of just. It was played off as like, oh, it's just a bunch of random people supporting this company.
Well, that's the funny thing about it all.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it all. It's baffling. But yeah.
Either way, I'd done the day before because I would have bought like probably about $1,000's worth of GameStop stock if I'd known beforehand, because I would have made so much money.
Especially where it was at like $1,000 each the other day.
Yeah.
You know what they actually did to the first company that made them rise up the price?
Well,
they bet against GameStop. and then put the stocks down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why they lost billions, because people started rising up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what probably the bit they thought illegal was.
Yeah, stocks just scare me. I couldn't get involved in the business.
I've only recently just got into it because I was kind of like, you have to. The way I did it was I decided, right, I'm going to put this much money into it, and as far as I'm concerned, that money no longer exists.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it. It's like, because then I'm not worried about it. I can kind of just say, it's whatever. I've lost this much money, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's two different kinds really. You got obviously the pros who know exactly what they're doing, but then you got a lot of average people that get involved in there, and they could bet their whole life savings into it, and it's just, to me, it's like gambling, and that when you get to that point.
The smartest way, well, it is gambling at the end of the day. The smartest way to do it.
I know it is gambling. Yeah, true.
Yeah, put money into a sure thing, so it's something that's 100% going to guarantee you profit. Once you've made that profit, take away the money you initially put in, so that way you haven't lost anything, and then just work with the winnings. So that way it's kind of like you're only in the profit margins. You're no longer losing money, you're only making money.
Decent. This become a stocks advice. If you got any questions about investing in stocks, we'll bring Adam on to answer some questions.
Don't ask me questions about that. I'd refer you to a bunch of people that are a lot better at it than me.
Sure. Have you guys heard about the I don't know. I can.
Anyway,
the guy that was married to a doll, and then he made a massive complaint because apparently it broke, and he was worried that he wasn't going to spend time with his wife over Christmas.
Wait. So a guy married a doll?
He married a sex doll.
Yeah, generally, he married a. It's not called a sex doll, but yeah, it's a sex doll.
No, it's a
But yeah, he married a doll, and yeah, apparently it doesn't say specifically in the news what happened. Is that the man? Yes, it is.
There you
go. Broke. I mean, look at his arms. He's definitely broke it somehow. But
wait, Deacon, you're gonna blow it? What the fuck?
Deacon, you're on the wrong side. He's starting the.
Wait, is that Alan?
Yeah.
Alan pops out of nowhere like. What?
Oh, yeah, that's my employee, by the way.
What, Jordan?
The guy, the doll.
Oh yeah, the doll.
No, his stepbrother worked at the pub where I worked. So.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting bored. I don't know how you get bored on furlough, but.
I was about to get offended. Like somebody's going straight into a fucking meeting when he comes back to work.
He's bored on furlough. He's like doing up the house because he's got OCD a bit. So he's like done the whole bathroom and everything.
I wish I was on furlough.
Furlough is good, but it's very, 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 very boring.
I mean, to be honest, I reckon the first week of furlough, if I was on furlough, the first week would be absolutely glorious because I would watch every film, every program, every meme known to man going out in the first week, just watching all those random stuff. I wouldn't even go to sleep. I will pass out on the sofa.
I've been doing that since December. I haven't run out yet.
Yeah, but you've been doing that since 2016, to be honest. But,
how long did they say it would take to watch every single video on YouTube? Providing no more videos are uploaded, it would take so much time to watch.
Yeah, they said it was like 200,000 years or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
Because it's been going on since 2005, hasn't it, YouTube? Is that right? Yeah, 2005, 2006? So, and granted, there wasn't that much going out back then, but...
So, if you've got time, it'll take about more than 70,000 years.
Exactly, same thing I said.
much as I would love to live to be that old, if I used it to purely watch YouTube.
To put it to scale, every time you watch a 10-minute video, about 100 to 120 hours have been uploaded.
It's
What
like
the fuck?
It's like to put it in perspective, actually, in the sense of streaming services.
I'm not allowed to swear.
I don't care.
I think they'd just be bleeped out if it's bad.
I mean, I technically, yeah, he's got lips bigger than my
I'm gonna be switching. Alright, that's better.
No, I think that's worse. That looks really creepy. There's a dude behind
It's you. I don't know what I'm about.
Is that a doll or what?
Wait, roll back.
He's got his mouth open.
Wait, is that me? On that? Oh yeah, that's when we broke into that guy's. I mean, that's when we legally entered that guy's farm.
Wait, was that the guy that tried to chase you? Is that a different time?
No, you were there for that time. That's when you dived through that hole onto that guy's driveway, and then he came out and started chasing me. Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna save it because it's got Cameron as well. Whether he's gonna join us.
Yeah. Yeah, he says his best, but it was a bit late, bless him. But anyway, going back to, so I don't know what were we talking about. Oh yeah, like to put in perspective, in like hours that you can spend on streaming services. Also, you got things like Netflix and Amazon Prime, which they started gradually getting to the point where they've now got God knows how many hours of content to watch. Whereas Disney then tried to copy them and make Disney Plus, and their first day of release, the whole thing crashed because it was just too much content. And too many people booked it at once, and it all happened at once. Whereas obviously the other two gradually got into that sort of business. So we have got untold amount of content to watch from the glories of our internet.
Yeah, you've got Now TV now as well. They've joined the race.
Netflix, not Netflix. Sorry, Disney Plus also own Fox. So now every Fox TV show is going to be on Disney Plus. Which is
still makes me laugh. That Family Guy.
There's some stuff on Fox that I would not deem like family friendly, and obviously Disney Plus seems to be a relatively family friendly site.
They've got
that awkward
HBO as well.
It's like when you go on Netflix, there's like a kids version, or YouTube there's a kids version. That awkward moment where Disney Plus is gonna one day have that, because like you said, you can't have your kids just going, oh, what's this? This looks like an animated fun stuff. Oh my lord.
Disney Plus becomes the new Pornhub, and there's basically a child-proofing lock. So you turn that on and it's all kid shows. You turn it off and suddenly it's just...
Isn't that just Netflix?
It's still the sibling love from both sides, though. Still the sibling love from both sides. Alan, you've gone increasingly. Adam, wait, you're Adam. Alex, you got really quiet.
I'm just chilling. I was listening to you guys talk.
It's because you got like a very neutral face. I can't tell what happens sometimes.
I think it's very rare you see Alex make a facial expression where you can truly tell what he's feeling.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like he sits there like. I'm like, is he alive? Like, have we? So did someone click pause?
Oh, do the face if you want.
I mean, out of everyone, Aiden has come the closest to killing Alex, so I think he should know when he's not alive. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it every time, but there was witnesses. I didn't cry, and somehow I managed to get into the exam. Somehow.
To be fair, is that like a champ? Considering he like shattered your knee.
Just took on the chin.
This is like a crossover of episodes.
But I quickly accepted that my GCSEs were game over.
It's previously what happened on Pointless.
It's just that I missed the first episode, so I'm catching up on all of these memories because I haven't fought knows how many years.
God. Honestly, it's been years since we talked. Okay, it's been like a year.
I haven't seen any of the old squad in ages, like face to face.
To be fair, Aiden, I think the last time we spoke was when we did that call on Facebook during the first lockdown.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, to be fair, because we actually managed to, even though not necessarily everyone necessarily wanted to be in the call, everyone ended up doing the call. I think the only person that didn't do it was Alex. I don't know why I said your full name, but I think the only person I did do was Alex.
It's going to act now. Someone's going to be like, oh, no, I can find it.
Yeah. I always bailed on all social events. I'll say I'll go, and then I always ditch last second.
It's obviously...
Yeah, well, you better show up next time. When we can do face-to-face stuff again, you better show up.
The one thing I never got was obviously Kyle joined that call knowing full well I was in it, and I was convinced he still hated my guts, but...
I mean, he probably still does, but that's what I meant. He was forced into it.
Yeah, I remember the rock. Am I missing a chapter?
Yep, he's a daddy now.
Wait,
I don't think anyone saw that coming, but...
God.
Who else has kids, Ben?
Well, that's it. One of us, we've already lost one of us. We can't keep on this petty rivalry between us all. We must all come together.
No,
soon there'll be none left except for Deacon.
To be fair, on the topic, I did it not recently, but a couple of months back. I had a pretty decent pregnancy scare off the lass I was with at the time, and to say I was fucking.
I'm sure the doll can't get pregnant.
What?
I'm sure the joke's bad.
That's my fault, but apparently I was wrong. 9 months later, this little silicone baby popped up. No.
God.
This guy's worst nightmare. That guy's
So anyway,
worst
nightmare. It was a general concern. He was not going to see his wife before Christmas, and he was really upset by it.
His wife. His blow-up sex doll. That's not his wife.
Do you reckon they just replaced her and he doesn't know?
Yeah, just upgrade to the new model.
Oh dear.
What was that woman in America? Was it America or was it England? It was somewhere, and she married her house.
I don't know. It takes me back to the days when there were people married their car, wasn't there? The guy that married his car.
No, he didn't marry his car. He was fucking his car. There's a difference.
Oh, it says she married it, so she didn't get evicted.
It was on My Strange Addiction, and there's a guy who is in a sexual relationship with a fairground ride.
God. Imagine explaining that to your parents.
That woman failed to do a fundraiser, so she married a house.
I thought she was in love with her house.
So she did a fundraiser for £400,000 and got 50 quid. So she married a house.
Her grandma who just went, here you go, love, here's your birthday money early.
The house is called Norman, apparently. This is where Alex has just left.
Yeah, you got bored of us.
Is this just 2020 discussion?
No, you can talk about whatever you want. I thought 2020. I thought the year of which a global pandemic would have more conversations, but
this was actually today, by the way. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. What about
stepped
Facebook?
Down.
Did he actually
step down?
Yeah, from Amazon.
Oh, bad.
Jeff Bezos is Amazon, by the way, not Facebook.
I know. It was a fatal joke, but. No, he makes
he's playing the opposite joke. In reality, he forgot who Jeff Bezos was and just went, oh, Facebook.
Excuse me, I watch social media. I know who did the.
Do you mean social network, not social media?
You have not won this round. It's a draw. Internet down. That's what Adam said about his pregnant scare. He just kind of went, "Oh, internet down," and he hasn't spoke to her since.
Yeah, no, that's more or less what happened. No, I'm joking. Yeah, she wasn't pregnant. Luckily enough, she was not pregnant.
Took her to the falling downstairs theme park.
The thought did cross my mind. The thought didn't cross my mind. I said it as a joke, but I wasn't actually thinking.
I think we should bleep that.
What?
What theme park?
Yeah.
Or just based off.
Much, bro.
Anyway, so why did he step down, Deacon?
It doesn't tell you. I don't think. I'll look at it though.
You're a news guy. Come on, you.
I'll expand.
It's like that black guy from Family Guy does the weather. I don't know his name. That guy from
What?
He's
Family
not a
Guy.
real guy. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know he's not a real guy, but it's the only reference I can make. You know that black guy on he does the weather on Family Guy. I can't
You
remember
can't
his
even
name.
Where
do
it's like
Cleveland
that
Brown.
sort of 2 seconds. It's like it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know his name though.
So you can't reference a more prominent, a more famous, and probably more funnier character known as Cleveland Brown. You just went for the news report, the weather
Sorry,
report guy.
hold back. How
It's
is
gonna rain.
Brown funnier than
I don't know. He's got more jokes, so
the
By
worst?
I live under a rock. I don't know any famous people.
It's gonna rain.
it's gonna rain. There's a storm
That's what it says.
here
Like,
behind you.
Ben, if I go outside and it's not raining, I will be upset.
really?
Ben, who's Ben?
There you go. It's gonna rain.
This is gone rain.
It's gonna rain.
It's gone rain. It's
It's
gone
gonna
rain.
rain. Got a problem with that?
Yeah, I got a problem with that. I want it to be snowing, bitch.
It's
Change
gonna
the weather.
snow next week.
So do I.
You know what? What was everyone's reaction to that snow last Monday?
Oof.
I'm not gonna lie,
Too
I
good.
straight away made a snow angel.
Same.
Yeah,
I
did.
did. Work. I made a snow angel.
That was perhaps the best day of 2020. I know it wasn't even 2020, but it was that.
Bro.
The year was that bad that I'm gonna throw it into 2020. You know, just throw some stuff in there.
Aiden's like that kid at school who, when you have to write the date in the margins, for the first 3 months, he still writes last year.
Yeah. God, to be honest, yeah. Mate, I still write 20 something as my year, rather than just the last 2 digits.
Fair enough. I remember do you remember Miss Huchet? Of course, everyone remembers, but that fucking French teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She always used to get super pissed off at me when I used to just, abbreviated, where it was like 01/0 whatever the fuck / whatever.
Yeah.
She used to get really pissed off whenever you did that. And I never understood why. She wanted you to write out the full thing, like in French.
Just so you know the months, even though like half of the months was spelled so similar to English, you just change a few letters or something like that. Like, it was so pointless.
You switch around the R and the E, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Except February, which was, I can't remember.
I think there was like July or June or something like that. That one was a monster because it was like completely nothing related to the word. Or was that actually April?
In short, fuck the French. I mean, what?
It was so. I say this every time, but all the French like, I have nothing against the French people, but all the French people who taught French at our school hated English people, despite the fact they lived in England, teaching French to English people.
Do you remember?
This is why Brexit happened.
You remember Miss Bucell, the French teacher? Do you remember she hated Mason? You remember, like, for no reason?
Yeah.
I remember that distinctly. The time I found out that she wasn't playing and, like, legitimately hated this kid was me and someone else were sitting outside after school to do our French speaking because we both failed and we got another go. I can't remember. And Mason was there as well, and he'd left his pencil case while he went in to do his test. So Miss Bucell comes out and starts talking to us like, "Oh, how's it going? How you learning?" And then she's like, "Oh, whose stuff is this? Like, whose pencil case is this?" And we're like, "Oh, it's Mason's." And then, I shit you not, she dumps it all out into the bin in front of us. Just sitting there like, what the fuck? You're a grown-ass woman.
It was generally bullying. Ah, that's right. it was like Juliet for July. April was April. Like, I don't know why, but that was such a head turn for me. March was Mars. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing things wrong.
I don't remember French. I was in the recap
It's all right.
set.
You pronounce a lot of
Yeah. You don't remember French because you couldn't be taught it. You basically had it was too hard for you. Whereas someone not only has a speech impairment, so struggles to pronounce English, let alone a foreign language, but the French teachers spoke down to me because they couldn't pronounce their language properly. They were like, "Oh, he needs help." I'm like, "Do I now?"
Right.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I would accept all the help I could off Miss Butell.
I would have just accepted MVQ. I would have done extra maths or something, extra PE.
Ben has raised his hand. What can I do for you? They didn't do for you.
Wait, new products and early initiatives. Is that why you left?
Yeah. It passed, so I just put it there.
He left because of new products.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, he wants to start supermarket.
Other things. Basically, other things.
The man literally potentially makes 100 times more than a minimum wage worker who works for his company a minute.
His money's based off of stocks he's got on. So he can just leave and then still make money.
He's super powerful. He's super wealthy. He does very little with that wealth, to be fair.
Who are we talking about?
And he wants to make. He's got early initiatives. He could just retire and do something good for the planet, not start up. What does he want to start up? A cafe or supermarket? What?
No, it's a supermarket. So his idea for a supermarket is an interactionless, cashless supermarket. So essentially, it will be a supermarket that when you walk in, it automatically connects to your Amazon account. You can pick up whatever you want and just leave.
Actually, that's pretty decent. Forget the homeless. We need that.
Yeah, so you don't have to go to a checkout or anything. You literally just pick up what you want. As you're walking out, it scans it onto your Amazon account and takes the money directly out of your account. So if you walk,
that's already the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard that before. Actually, not the Amazon aspect,
I
but
swear that
the actual walking out.
Smaller scale thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a massive scale thing. It will just be.
No, it already exists.
It's Argos without the interaction.
You know, I agree with Alex. I think there is a type of it.
No,
I've heard of it before.
Linus Tech Tips, he did a video.
It's not in function yet because his idea of it is he wants it to be interactionless, but at the moment it's not. So the idea
he hates people that much. He's trying to minimize human contact.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, which, to be fair, in the current climate, people are going to jump at it because it means you don't have to.
Yeah, he's going to make a killing from that, but
he already makes a killing. He's set to be the world.
I know. That's what I'm complaining about. Let someone else do that.
There's a video. It's called Amazon Go.
Just borrow like 20 quid or something, you know.
I just found some really old Huxley videos.
Excuse me. Is Huxley 2020? Adam sideways.
Hello.
Ugh, now it's just more zooming in on his face.
Wait, was you on your phone this whole time?
Speaking of which, I need more alcohol. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, Dad, don't drink too much tonight.
I don't know any of these people.
He left us. No, it's 13 years ago, so we might not.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people. 13 years.
Details. What memories do you have?
Me?
Yeah, that I'm president.
Of what?
Maybe Deacon as well, if he's president, any of them.
What, president? What, when we used to play it on COD? That's just the lower half of my face.
This man.
Alright, do you have any memories of either me and you or with Deacon?
I remember
chemistry, biology.
I was going to say, I remember the Isle of Wight trip that we had in...
It was like sick. What about Scarborough?
Scarborough was sick. Oh, what? We were all in that tiny ass... I just remember me being fucking asleep in the double bed that was there, and then you guys had all the bunk beds. And me just like waking up to you in the double bed, just whispering, "There's room for two." Me just freaking them out.
Do you remember the Michael Jackson ball? The flashing ball.
Glowy ball where you're like, oh, he's chasing after the kid. He's doing.
I don't even know how it was. We don't talk about that.
I remember that, man. What the fuck? We were like, how old?
Now? I don't even remember. Like
10 or 11.
10. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
It was year 5, so it must have been. I'm not younger. How old are you in year 5?
Because you start year 7 when you're 11. I remember that because your username used to be a number .11.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the year we started. That's how I always remember.
Yeah.
That was the sound.
Yeah, Scarborough and Isle of Wight trips.
I was like, you're about the computer, like
because
usernames.
Aiden was also at Isle of Wight, I think, because we teamed up with him because he had flags on that.
I won because of I won.
So we all literally leached off him for his flags, and then we sang "We Are the Champions" on the way back to the hotels.
I remember we sang it, but like one of the teachers went up to us and went, "Guys, we get your champions, but you need to be quiet now because not everyone wants to hear that."
Yeah, may strike you.
Yeah. God.
I remember on the Isle of Wight trip, I'm pretty sure it was, getting buried in the sand and then somebody kicking sand in my eyes. I can't remember who it was.
I remember digging a hole because it was fun, and they tell you off for digging a hole because obviously it was dangerous for people who might fall in, which is a fair point. But like, you're on the beach, you're not really allowed. You can go in the water, but if you don't want to do that, you're not really allowed to do much else really than play in the sand. Which a fundamental part of it was digging a hole.
I can't remember what her name was. She was one of like the pastoral carers, but I remember she was getting really annoyed at me because I had sand in my eyes, and I was like, "Can you just like?"
I remember this.
Wipe it out, like wipe the sand off my face with, and she was like, "Oh no, I have to do it," and I'm like, "Can you just give me a wipe because I'm fucking blind?" And she's getting progressively more and more pissed off at me because she wants to wipe it out herself, and I'm like, "What is happening?"
God.
I think she was trying to like inappropriately touch me. Now that I look back on it, you know,
she definitely was.
I was a white-looking kid. I completely understand, you know.
Repressed memories? Question mark.
I
know you'll remember it because I remember it when that lady said it was 100% platinum ring, and then you bought it, and then you put it on the bus, at the coach, and then it just broke instantly.
Yeah, no, it wasn't platinum. It was like I can't remember what it was made of, but it was like supposedly like something. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I did not pay.
Damn.
I picked it up, put it on my finger, and walked out. You can see I've kept that trend with rings, but
FBI, we got him.
Yeah. End the call. We've got one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I can't remember what it was. I think I like put my hand on something and it instantly just fucking exploded.
Yeah. I remember a few times actually with Charlie we would honestly on the way back to my house and other people's houses, including Charlie's and Drew's, was Costco, and you go in and you can get a drink on a hot day or something like that. I'll get some sweets if you were going around your mate's house. And I remember like we were there and Charlie would pick up like things like Baby Bell and put it in Drew's pocket. So Drew would then walk out and he's just like, Drew, "You're stealing again," and it was so stupid. But it was so funny because like Drew was like, "I hate Baby Bells," and Charlie was like, "I'll eat it." He just basically forced Drew to be his accomplice, and he's still. And then I realised like his mum works there, so he could ask his mum to pay for it.
Where was that?
I bumped into
the
Charlie.
Costco by the high street.
Yeah.
Did you just say you bumped into Charlie?
Yeah, I bumped into him. I went into Costco, and he was in there with his mum. And this was, I hadn't seen him in a good couple of years. And when I say he kind of looks like Jesus now, I mean that.
I've
like,
been told this.
He's super hair, like this weird goatee thing going on.
He's got really long hair now, isn't he?
It's like past his shoulders.
Yeah, I've been told this. I mean, to be honest, at some point, I'll probably ask him to come and join this podcast. Because I was never close with Charlie, but every time I talked to him, he was always a good laugh.
Yeah, I like Charlie is great, but what always used to weird me out is I remember because I was going Costco a lot just to pick up little things, and his mum would always be like, "Oh, maybe you can give," because she knew I was a manager at a pub. She was like, "Oh, maybe you can give Charlie a job," and I'm like, "Yeah, maybe, sure."
Really think if a parent step in there, you know that parent wants him out of the house.
No offense, if I just can't picture Charlie like serving people. Like someone to come up and just be like, "Oh, can I have a beer and get yourself?"
It still makes me laugh because you know how he's got like a certain walk to him, like he does like the sort of head slouched down, finger pointing thing. Like I saw him like a couple of months after I last saw him, which was like so we all left, we all got our grades from GCSEs. A couple of months later, I haven't seen him, and I barely recognised him. In fact, I would never have known it was him if he didn't point to me with this little walk thing. I was just like, "Oh my god, that's Charlie." I just sat there like, "Oh my lord, it's him," and he's just in there like, "How you doing?" But yeah, he's got a special personality. I would love to see him in any work. Anywhere, I would love to see it, especially in the office. I just want to see how he interacts.
I still remember Charlie being the guy that went up to the German exchange students and gave them a picture of a hand-drawn swastika and just didn't see an issue with it.
Well, he got told off, didn't he? He was like, "Well, she's German."
So it just didn't like literally. I was sitting in the library talking to the two German exchange students. Charlie just kind of came up and slid over a picture, and one of the mini drawings that were on it was a swastika. So rightfully so, two German people are going to get offended by that.
God.
I did hear.
The only thing that would have been worse is if they were Jewish.
Jewish German or just Jew in general?
What?
Well, both, I guess, but yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. It just
Good question.
Think stuff through. It was funny to us, and to be fair, the German students had a laugh about it afterwards as well. Once they realised that he wasn't doing it to be offensive, he was just kind of being a fucking idiot.
I think that sums so as a whole is not really a toxic place. It's toxic, but it's not really the worst thing. It's just a bunch of people trying to make jokes. But yeah,
there's a lot of some proper dumbass people at that school.
Yeah. Okay. But thank God none of us turned that. we're right here in this group chat. We're the success of the success, aren't we?
No.
Debatable, but
Bottom crew.
God. So the last topic I have, which you don't have to talk about, I actually don't want to, is the American election. Who followed that? Not necessarily the politics side, but more just the fan base side, because that talking about both toxic and dumb people. And I'm not being biased on one side or the other. I mean, from both sides. It was hysterical watching America as a whole cry because
it was
one or the other could have won.
It was more like waking up and seeing what America did next.
Yeah.
Like you wake up, oh, they've stormed the White House. Is like, oh,
It wasn't the White House. It was the Capitol building, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Just ridiculous that the Americans are like one of the only people that it's like, oh, as soon as anything's going wrong in the country, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to occupy a relatively unimportant building that will ultimately make no change whatsoever.
And it's stupid because like there was both sides of the argument there. Like some people were saying like, oh, this is like gonna be a big step forward. It's like no, you just basically just increase military enforcement now every election. Like, and others were like, no, it was just a peaceful rally. They were people chanting "hand Mike Pence." Like, if you're trying to have the second most powerful person in America, you're not trying to be peaceful. I'm not saying everyone was doing that. Most of them were generally just
rules,
there.
by the way.
What?
Adam.
What?
It's not the horn.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Anything is go through the horn.
Were you drinking?
Actually, Adam was we don't want to say it out too loud because the FBI's listening. But Adam's actually, he was there. He was dressed up. He was the other Minotaur. Or the guy was dressed up. They have a fight kid.
Turned away, Jesus.
They broke windows to get in, but then didn't push past the red banisters. You know, they all put in single file and in.
You had a drink out, okay?
God. It's just hysterical. Honestly, I don't think we definitely couldn't do that to our politics building because apparently we got like actual armed guards who just
as soon as you try and take over Buckingham Palace, the Royal Armed Guards will just fuck you up.
But no one cares anyway. Most of the time we just complain about government, but then we just move on to when we get a new government in our next election, we just complain about them. So I just love that America and British mentality are almost in the same league, but America generally care when they complain. We just complain for the sake of complaining.
Yeah, I think.
Or at the very least, we just don't care enough to.
By definition, we care enough to say something, but then we also don't care to the point where we'll just do whatever we want anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take this lockdown, for example. The amount of people that I know still go out and meet people, in public.
Yeah.
Not me, obviously. I'm a good boy.
Still better than America. They were in lockdown for 2 months during the first lockdown. And because Europe was getting better, they thought that meant they were getting better, and then they just carried on. And as far as I'm aware, they still technically suffered for the first wave, because they never actually brought it down technically. So in my opinion, it's not even the second wave.
Because they have the everyone has the mutated virus. I can't remember what they called it.
Variants. Well, I don't know what Americans have in terms of that. They might have got the Brazilian variant, but surely they haven't got. Well, probably got all three actually. But surely they're close.
It's all the same virus, and now it's mutated, and it's more apparently.
Yeah, but there's 3 different kinds of variants now.
Is that okay? I'm very uneducated on this. Apparently, I thought I knew, but apparently I don't.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I was looking into it a week or so ago. It's like you got obviously, so the one in Kent is different to the one in South Africa. It's not like when I say different, I mean they're still all technically coronavirus. That's why they're called variants, but they're just slightly different. That's all. When they're actually officially named, they're called.
It's possible in this chair.
What did he say?
Just look at Alex, so far back from his screen, just yeah.
It's like he's trying to emphasize his height by having so much headspace. Are you actually in the office?
No.
Well, Deacon's got a lot of headspace now.
I'll get back to the desk.
Battles wasn't here because he wouldn't have seen that quick little foot image of Alex.
Jordan.
Oh, what was it? Where it was a science lesson and it wasn't my one; it was the class next to it. where somebody was speaking to Bettles and he's like, I don't kiss my sister or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah. He's like, I did not sleep with my sister. I was in that class.
I remember it. It was well, I was in Mr. Kale's classroom, next to it, but it was Luke, if you remember him, Jack and Josh and all that, saying to Jordan, "Oh, you fuck your sister, or you suck your sister's toes." And he used to say oh, Jordan Bettles, oh, we bunch feet under something. I can't remember the rhyme. And there was also Bettles, Metals, Pots and Kettles or something like that.
Yeah.
And he just shouts out, I didn't fuck my sister. And then Mr. Carroll was teaching at the time, and the whole class went silent. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Because both of the doors were open, so the sound just travelled straight through into your class.
He was just like, anyway.
Yeah. God, no, that was hysterical because, I mean, it was hysterical from our point of view as well because, like, the entire class just stopped and looked at him. He went really shy, just carried on working. I looked at the teacher, who wasn't necessarily the best teacher when it came to discipline, and he did not know how to respond to it. He literally just carried on helping another student because he just went, do I step in? Well, it solved itself out. I'll carry on. I was just like,
I was trash
what?
like that.
Oh God, I do feel bad for for all those people that are still there.
That family will always be going there.
Do you find it odd that by the time your youngest sibling will be done with school, your oldest sibling potentially is going to have kids who could potentially start school?
Oh yeah, I always forget.
All damn day. The youngest is 2, and I'm 20. So when he's 20, I'm 40. So he's gonna grow up, and everyone's gonna be dying around him.
Oh no, that is horrific. Actually, no, but that is true though, because
it's true.
Your youngest could potentially, your youngest sibling is more or less could potentially only be like 10 years off from your kids, which means your youngest will know your kids more than they will know you in 50 years' time.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Wait, what's the count now? Is it still, what was it before? 11?
I swear it was like 13, but like your mum wanted another one because she believes in like bad luck and superstition and that.
What?
What the
fuck? She's Roman Catholic. They don't use contraception. That's why I can tell. Kids.
No, I mean, I swear she doesn't like the idea of 13 because it's an unlucky number. So she wants a 14th child just to kind of get rid of it.
I mean, if she cared that much, she could always adopt one.
I mean, I could be wrong, but like, how many 13-year-old how many 13 kids families do I know? So if it's not her, who the hell am I thinking of?
I don't know. I can't think of any other big families apart from me.
Yeah. God. You guys take the Roman Catholic. Listen.
You know what this conversation reminds me of that I now regret bringing up because it might make Alex sad. I just remember Tinkerbell, Alex.
Tinkerbell, or the ferret?
Yeah, your ferret.
Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday. Funny enough, because I was watching ferret videos. I was like, oh, I really want a ferret again. And I had a ferret called Tinkerbell. It's like a white one, and they're basically like cats but rats at the same time, basically. And
great.
Run loose, and he's just fucking. It was great. I can't remember it too well, but I do remember Tinkerbell and the weird hunch walk that ferrets do, or when they run. And they're very slinky. I don't know if you've seen a ferret, but they're very slinky looking.
What happened to it? Just old age, or?
No, it just ran away. Like my bro went to feed it, and then it just ran out of the cage, and they've got no homing instinct, so it just got lost somewhere.
Didn't you lose to a rabbit as well, and it went across the school field?
Yeah, I used to have a rabbit dug out, and it went into the school field.
He dug out? Where did you have it? In a hut? In the grass or something?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I had like my family's not that smart.
No.
My sister didn't want it in a cage, so it was like a pen kind of thing. It just dug under it.
I'm surprised you ever lost a child for like what you're telling me with pets. Yeah, maybe they was 14, but they don't speak of him.
Damn, he found out.
To be fair, at that large number, I feel like you could just kind of play it off. Like you had 14, one of them dies, and like Child Protective Service comes over, like you're missing your kid, and they're like, "What are you on about? We've only ever had this many." Like,
Yeah. There's hardly like Child Protective Services are going to do a lineup and count.
I say there's 13 kids, but how many of them are actually registered? Yeah, think about that.
all called Alex doctors.
have like a registered
wait,
birth
1 second. I think I heard the sewing machine stop working. Let me go check on it.
like that Alex is technically a real person for the government.
What? When Alex basically just replaced the Malaysian workforce.
I think we got drastically off topic. Wasn't supposed to be us saying something we hate and giving a reason why.
We could do that, yeah. So it was just a bit of backstory. It was Cameron's idea. I'm sure he doesn't mind if he can tell his thing another time. But essentially, it's from what I got from what he was saying was explain something that you hate and try and explain why you hate it.
I hate breathing.
He wants to go
Wake up
first.
in the morning.
Convince me.
Yeah, I told
God.
that's the only thing I hate. Breathing.
Pretty specific.
Well,
I hate people.
Dumb if you think
I just hate people. But I hate
Oh,
like
okay, I'll get
those
it.
who get into relationships after like 5 days and then declare that they're in love or that they're gonna marry them and stuff like that.
Is that tagged as a Drew?
No, this is
Sounds like
actually. I mean, he is included, and I've said it to him face that you are included in the subject. But no, it's not targeted at one individual because I know enough people to basically group this. But it is so annoying. I blame things like films and TV for that because when you look at like kids programs and that, like when we used to watch things like I don't know, like iCarly or Hannah Montana and that, they used to throw that so like things like love and that sort of thing quite too easily. And of course, then everyone just kind of just accepted that was how it works. But it just is so annoying. Well, I just killed the conversation. Yeah.
Zoned out for like a split second.
Yeah.
I hate love.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So what's the question? What do you hate about 2020, or just what do you hate in general?
Just in
No, it's
general.
I
Got
guess
a
it's just
fucking
general.
list.
List.
Well, we'll start with
What
Deacon
is it?
because Deacon,
What
do you
hate
hate?
love?
Wait, why are you starting with me? I'm terrible.
because
you
you
haven't
strike me as the
included
man
yet.
full of hate.
Full of hate.
Yeah, everyone looks at you and just goes, I don't know why, but that man seems to hate something. I just can't work out what. So Deacon, tell us what angers you.
Why would I?
I'm obviously joking, but like, I don't think I've ever seen you rage.
I have.
I think the closest thing to it was literally when like we were all taking the mickey out of you, and you just didn't speak because I feel like one too many jokes, but then that was it really. I don't think we ever like made
Was that
you
Deacon?
angry.
I'm pretty sure that was Blaber.
I didn't think
Oh,
I'd
no.
ever like
I mean,
thrown it insults. But
we all at one point or another have been like offended by each other's joke. I mean, let's be honest, but I think that's
if
the
they made
closest thing.
sense, I wouldn't care. But
Yeah, true.
say
Well,
like you
I'm
say an
the
insult
same.
that's nothing to do with me, then I'm like, oh okay. What do I do with that? Like,
Shut up, Deacon. You're New Yorker. Yeah.
Yes, shut up,
uh,
Ben, you ginger. Dumb shit. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I forget the song now.
Wait, someone had a song about you?
See, no, what was it? That song where it was. You found it on YouTube. It was like
Andrew's gay.
Yeah,
That fucking
gay.
song's fucking sick. I still have it.
Mate, that's still my alarm. Let's be honest. I
I
love
could
that
probably
song.
play it now.
It's just,
I
I
just
never
downloaded
found
it.
anything better than that song.
And if you play it, you might get like
copyrighted. So we're gonna have to cut this bit.
I'm pretty sure that's non-copyright. I can't imagine they're gonna message saying, "Hey, we wrote that song 10 years ago, and we want."
Yeah, we want your
people,
2p revenue.
They could potentially be in their 20s right now, and they've still got that up.
We're in our 20s, bro. Why are you saying that like that?
Why are you saying they're in their 20s? Like, yeah.
Sure, I forget we're in our 20s. When I talk to you guys, I sometimes like because we talk too much about past.
I remember being
that's the bloke version. I'm in the one with the two girls sitting on Christmas Day. But that one's a good
that's the
one
original one.
I remember being 14 years old and Aiden making all of these really elaborate plans, then us meeting up and just not doing them, and him getting really annoyed.
Actually, yeah, like if there was ever moments where I got annoyed, and you can actually hear it in some of these videos. That's why I find them so cringy, because they're not actually, in my opinion, well, they are cringy, but they're not necessarily cringy. It's just you hear me getting mad at you guys, and I'm just like, oh my god. I'm a horrible friend. Like,
no offense, those videos of us, they're pretty
awful.
What's the word I'm looking for? Make me want to jump out of a window. I remember there's one video somewhere where for some reason, I repeat the same thing 4 times, and I don't know why.
I think I watched it.
I literally say the same thing.
It's something like it's you going, yeah, it was with me and you, because apparently Believer said we played the game, Spunky, I think, and you were like, no, it was me and you that played the game.
Speaking about games, I was saying that we need a game that we play cross-platform. Because me and Deacon are computer bum boys. You guys are console balance.
I'd say Among Us, but then we need a lot of people.
To be honest, we can get enough people in there Among Us, and
it's apparently come out on Xbox now.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
As well as mobile as well, obviously.
But yeah, I'll just play on mobile. Still got it on my mobile.
I can play it on mobile and it still works with like team chat.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, you're gonna have to be the one that's recording though. That's all.
That's fair.
But we can. On that, we can call each other on Discord, couldn't we? I mean, you're the expert, so ask me on this one.
Yeah, I've got Discord. I'm pretty sure we all still have Discord.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I use it every day. Discord's the bomb.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, it's a lot more easier to jump in a call.
Sure.
I mean, I don't mind doing this kind of stuff when I've got time, but as soon as I'm working again, I'm going to have, like, basically 0 free time. Job, so.
Well, you got no time whatsoever. Something strikes me suspicious.
I'm pretty sure you could drop in time to time.
He's using a glass instead of a horn, Alex. That strikes me as he's feeling guilty about something.
He's guilty.
Yeah. No, I just like this. Also, I'm not going to drink scotch out of a horn. That's a bit weird.
That's the weird part?
Yeah, that's the weird part.
God. Yeah, so anyway. So, Adam, Alex, what do you two hate then? Because this channel is all about spreading negativity.
Do you know what I hate?
You said a lot of things. Like, what would you say your top 3 was?
Good. See, Deacon should be my interviewer. He's really good at this.
What are you on about?
Well,
Deacon.
Alex said he's got like a list, so I was like, what's your top 3?
Yeah. You think about promoting yourself from secretary to interviewer.
What would you do then? No, you don't want, or you don't know.
Alex is looking through his list.
Oh, you want me to say off my list?
Yeah, saying what your top 3 is.
Top 3, what, like most hated thing in the world?
Yeah.
Eating sounds. If you eat in front of me, your mouth open, you're dead, man.
Alright, I'll just get some.
Sound. Oh, it's the fucking worst.
Oh, Deacon, the Chris meme is starting again.
You've got cheese puffs.
Honestly, that's still the funniest thing ever was just me and Kyle on a phone call to Deacon, and we just hear him munching away. And we go, Deacon, are you eating Chris? And all we hear is the biggest crunch ever on the mic. Just.
So, what's your second then?
As petty as it sounds, people that don't eat food properly, like people that won't snap a Kit Kat, just eat like a chocolate bar. So terrible.
Yeah, they bite through the middle.
You mentioned Kit Kat. Is there another version?
Another version.
I've straight up seen someone eat a burrito from the side.
Yeah, I've seen someone eat a burrito from the side. I've seen someone who ate a pizza starting from crust to the pointy bit. You know these? I don't know what they're called. It's like a case, and then you pull out the bubble gum and you eat it. I've seen someone just bite into it like
the bubble ones.
I don't know what they're called, but you pull it out and it's like a casing.
Yeah. I know what you're on about.
And they just ate it like a don't. Dude,
eat and chew it without wrapping it open.
My sister, so she eats cake. Like you have a slice of cake, she eats it from the back instead of the front. It's like.
What? No, that opens up a separate line of questioning. Do you eat your cake all at once, or do you eat it in sections? Like, say, if it's got icing, do you leave the icing till last?
100% leave the icing to the end.
Yeah, leave the icing till. That's the only way to eat cake.
You honestly, guys are fucking psychos, honestly.
Unless it's chocolate cake. For some reason, I can't do it with chocolate cake because their icing is kind of melted. Or it is.
I bet you guys sleep with socks on.
I do sometimes.
Oh my god, you serial killer.
And the weirdest bit.
I don't sleep with socks on, but I have sex with socks on. How about that? Deal with that bit.
I've done that before as well, actually. It's because it's the last thing to take off.
A little way of saying I've had sex.
Yeah. When you stick the into the ear.
I just remember, what was it? It was your 18th birthday party where you were with Liz? Was it? I can't remember.
We're just gonna call our Deacon from here on out. Yeah.
Yeah. You were with such and such lass, and I remember you had disappeared into your room with her, and me being the dick, I bust into your room carrying a bunch of vodka shots.
I actually took both of those shots as well because she wasn't drinking. That's actually not entirely true though, because we got pushed into that in the bedroom. That's like a joke sort of thing, and we just didn't go back out. But like I was, that party annoyed me so much for 3 different reasons. When I'm hungry, I get angry. You will never see a more angry version of me than waiting for food, especially delivery, like takeaways. And Jordan was like, well, he's in order, and he was like, "Oh, why don't we just order because it's quicker than?" And we had to explain to him the entire order 6 times. Like I had to say multiple times, we need a portion of chips. Yeah, and he ended up going to his house in a different town. So I was like, oh my god. So then by the time the food actually arrived, half of the people at my party went home. So like I was eating food that was like meant to be for a group that was twice the size that was eaten there.
I thought Jordan stole some of it. Or...
No,
Jeremy just alright, like that's the problem.
I fully admit it was my fault that Ben and Carl had to go home.
We died too early.
Well, to be honest, you asked me. You went, Aiden, can I go and get the vodka or something like that? Because we ran out of alcohol, didn't we? Because for some reason we had like a bottle and a half of Desperado, and in a blink of an eye, it was all gone. So I wanted to know.
That's Andrew. He seems to chug that.
Because it's tasty.
Yeah, I went.
Yeah, you want to go tasty Desperado? This is nice.
Right.
I went back to mine and I got a bunch of vodka and
you started drinking with them shot for shot, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was drinking quite a lot of it, and obviously Ben and Carl were like, "Oh yeah, we'll do shots." So we all started doing shots, and they were all both of you were quite adamant that you could like throw it back. So I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll do like a shot of vodka every other minute," and we ended up having this whole bottle of vodka. And Yeah, so then Kyle went in and started chucking his guts out, and I was kind of standing there like, oh, you'll be all right, mate. Just kind of like stay here. And then Ben comes in to also throw up, but obviously because the room is occupied, Ben throws up all over my back. I was wearing a white shirt.
Well, it's funny because at one point I knew because like Kyle passed out at one point, and someone told me, they were like, Aiden, Kyle's passed out on the sofa. I was like, he's on the sofa. If he falls, it's carpeted floor, and it's fine. He's okay. I now learned that if someone's passed out, the first thing to do is get another bucket, because honestly, he threw up all over himself, all over the carpet. I remember him having trousers at the ankle, covered in soot, getting carried out by my dad to the toilet. He then throws up in the toilet. Deacon, who's got sick spilling out of him, pulls off Kyle's trousers in attempt to try and help him. Kyle's holding onto the toilet. Can he get falling over because someone's trying to pull up the trousers? So he lost the control of his legs.
I was so worried that your dad was going to hate me after that, because it was technically my fault. I remember having a conversation with him, because me and him, because I said, oh, I'll help you get them back into Ben's place just because I felt so bad. And I remember having a conversation with him on the way back, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I thought they could handle it. It's my fault. He was like, the entire time he was like, don't even worry about it. I did stuff when I was younger. Like,
to be honest, my dad's very like, he's very strict, especially when we were younger. But like, that was probably the most calm he ever been, which was quite scary, because I was just like, he's gonna shout at me when everyone's gone. And funny enough, he actually never did. I apologized to him when everyone was gone, and he went, I've heard enough apologies for the night. Let's just call it even. And just went to bed. I was like, oh my god, we broke him.
Well, we did an after lockdown party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Build me up, get destroyed.
Yeah. Please, can it not be at my house? I think this house is suffered enough damage.
It's always my house.
Let's just do what we did last time I go drinking down the lakes.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, I don't mind doing that, but I think the biggest problem with when we were drinking down the lakes is I have a weird thing about disposing waste properly.
Yeah, we all took all our rubbish.
Well, no, that's the funny thing. We were all hammered walking back, and we all thought someone else had a bag of rubbish. But at some point on the journey back, it was gone. Where did it go?
Because I remember the main thing I remember from that night is probably the best joke that ever came out of Cam Marpole was it Carl was like, oh, I'm just gonna roll a fag quick, and Cam, just without missing a beat, was like, no, you can't call him that anymore, Carl.
Still funny to this day.
It's okay because Carl's gay, so it's fine. You know, he was okay with it. We've got the stamp of approval.
Exactly. Alex, what about you? What was the craziest night of your life?
Oh, what craziest night of my life? I mean,
I doubt we're gonna this bit.
Yeah.
I doubt we're gonna keep this bit. So.
Whoa, we can't keep that in, Alex. We're gonna have to cut it to this point.
I mean, can I even describe it if I can't remember it?
Well, that's the best night. How did it start, mate? That's how you should like it. The bits you remember.
Well, I mean, I'll send you check. I do remember it.
Okay.
I can't remember how old I was. I think it was my 19th birthday. Friend came down from Somerset, and then when we went, he came over and we drove to a National Trust Park, and then all the people that wasn't driving, we just took a bunch of LSD tabs while we was in like the woods at the National Trust Park, and then we was just chilling, and then it was absolutely it was just, I don't know, we got lost basically, and then we had like designated driver just feeding us around, translating all the signs for us because we couldn't read anything. But it was pretty fun. I can't remember what National Trust Park it was. It was pretty good. And then we got taken home and you just ran around Earthenbow like psychos until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was a pretty good night.
God.
It's probably craziest night of my life. Probably. I can't think of anything else. Unless if you want to count as in crazy, as in when my house burnt down. That was pretty crazy.
Shit, I forgot that your brother set your house on fire.
No, what my brother was my sister.
I thought it was something to do with like a lamp.
It was the dad for a insurance
lamp.
scam.
They left. I had a lamp on, and then like the bit where the twisty bits, it just dipped down, and then it just lit the sheets on fire.
Yeah. You know what?
And then top your whole home burning down for the first night of your life.
I wonder how many. I wonder if, depending how long we do this podcast thing, but I want to know how many episodes we're going to get through, where we're just going to mention your house getting burned down.
It's a staple of my life.
It's going to have to be in everyone. It's got to be in the special.
When every episode, I'd name one thing I lost.
You name one thing you hate.
It just starts to get progressively more and more nuts. He's like, oh, and then I lost one of my toes, and then
I lost a whole safety deposit box filled with gold.
you lost the cat stole it off of him.
Yeah. It's strange you lost a ferret that night.
Oh, rest in peace, think about, honestly. Gone but not forgotten.
What would you do if a ferret that looks exactly like Tinkerbell enters back in your garden one day?
I'll be very shocked because I'll be like, wow, this lifespan of this ferret is insane.
In a wheelchair, so
Dude, I'd fucking sell it to a laboratory. I'll be like, check this lifespan of this ferret right now.
Who knows? You might access the key to immortality.
It was just a white ferret. There was no like distinctive like features of it. So if you was to show me 2 white ferrets, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Apart from like, I don't know, maybe like a dodgy tooth or something, but 2 seconds.
Okay, so that was Archie's story. Aiden, what's the craziest thing you've done? Craziest night of your life?
Yeah, Aiden, what's the craziest night of your life?
I think technically the craziest night was technically my birthday party, in the sense of what everyone else did. I'm quite simple and boring, so I haven't done that much crazy stuff myself.
Did you sick on my birthday?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had to go home and we all went out on a pub crawl because.
No, I think he means a different time. I've been sick a lot of times on their night out. To be honest, it's my natural trade. To be fair, I'm the lightweight. That's the skinny one.
Yeah, it's the one who can eat the most food in one sitting, doesn't gain any weight, but as soon as he touches alcohol, he gets fucking weight.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, yeah.
I've seen Aiden eat a whole like family-sized pizza meal to himself.
Sure, I struggle, but I've eaten some of the special meals before. You know, at the pubs where you got to try and eat them, like eat the filly.
I did chili before, and it was a mistake.
Couldn't do chili. No, I remember one time I was really drunk because me, Deacon, and Kyle were out, and it was probably like the second time I ever touched alcohol. And because the first time I touched alcohol, yeah, I threw up technically, but I was never hungover, and I was never that, like, I was drunk, but I was never so bad where I couldn't remember the night. So I thought, I'll be alright. Second time drinking, I'll be completely fine. I remember we ended up going to the pub because Kyle likes scotch or something like that, or whiskey. So yeah. We go to the pub, he orders like one each, and I remember I drink wine, and I'm absolutely drunk at this point anyway, because I've been drinking cider, and I remember going, oh, I'm fine. So I downed his, and downed the other, and I learned quickly, you should not down spirits. And the only thing that I remember from that night was one time I was in the toilet, to which Deacon then looks over the wall thing from the other cubicle going, You're right there. And then the other time was when we were leaving the pub, and some random guy who I knew went, "You're right, Aiden." I was like, "I'm drunk," and he was like, "Do you want me to drive you guys home?" We didn't live that far. To be fair, we could have walked home, but he drove us home. God bless him. But I cannot remember any other part of that night until I woke up and I started throwing up. And I decided to go home. But your dad actually, funny enough, he tried to convince me to not go home. But I guess because I was quite drunk and he probably thought I lived quite far. I don't know. But he was like, "Yeah, probably best you stay there." I was like, Nah, I'm going home. Because when I start throwing up, that's when I sit there and go, I'd rather just, sit in my bed and crawl up with the ball and cry.
Yeah, sounds about right. Well, except whenever I'm like pissed, I always end up sleeping on the floor, and I don't know why.
God, sleeping on the floor is the worst. I've done that so many times, and sadly, I've never done it because I was drunk. Or sleeping on a sofa. Sleep on your mate's sofa is even worse, in my opinion, because sofas are not, especially the level ones.
A leather sofa. It's just like I want to kill myself.
Yeah, absolutely awful. Well, what's the worst? What's the biggest night, craziest night of yours, Adam?
Probably my wedding night.
You got married? Wait, what? Deacon, can you fact check this?
I feel like most of us are waiting for the punchline.
Deacon,
yeah, no.
Deacon, can you fact check this? Deacon, please.
No, it's just
I found nothing.
It's a blow-up doll.
This is a sad picture of someone crying. I'm not joking. I spammed the keyboard and they come up with a sad guy crying.
Oh God.
No, bro,
that guy's gonna let me send it.
Just a
Suicide prevention in Bristol. Oh. Okay.
Craziest time of my life. It's between two.
It's what?
It's between two nights. Craziest night of my life. So.
Oh, I tasted that
because it's a more interesting story. So the company I used to work for before this, we did like annual Christmas parties. But for whatever reason, this year the party was delayed, so we ended up going in like mid-February, but it was a Christmas party. So me and all the other managers, we shut our respective pubs. So I shut mine, they shut theirs, etc., etc. It doesn't matter. And we just fucked off to Birmingham for a long weekend. So we all like chipped in to get this big swanky ass like hotel flat thing. So it's like a 3-bed hotel room. And we spent the entire time either in restaurants eating or at random fucking clubs getting drunk out of our mind. And for the entire weekend, I don't think there was a single point where somebody didn't like hand a drink to me. It's the most drunk I've ever been in my entire life. And the weekend ended with me getting into it like a full-blown fight with one of the bouncers.
Yeah.
Not my fault, surprisingly enough. Ish. So he, from what I remember and what I've been told, he came up to me and basically said, I think you need to get some water, mate, or like sit down and calm down. So I go up to the bar to get some water, and then he just randomly starts like pushing me towards the door. Like, and I don't mean like gently shoving me. I mean like he's full force, like trying to push me. So I've just had like a brief conversation, like, look, mate, if you wanted me to leave, the club is closing in like 20 minutes. Like, what's the point? You could have just. But yeah, so we get basically the club we were in. It had this little tiny flight of stairs you had to go down to then get to the door. So like the entire club was on a hill, so there was like stairs. So and I remember, and he pushed me down those stairs. Like I was walking down the stairs, and he pushed me. So I rightfully so, I kind of like flipped the fuck out a bit, and then I I would love to say in this story that I was like the hard man and I won the fight, but I didn't. Instantly, like the guy just had me like fucking on the ground and dragging me out of the building. There was nothing I could do about it.
God. Jesus.
But the craziest night of my life is we were walking back to the hotel we were staying in, and I tripped and my glasses fell off my face, so they fell onto the ground. And my mate Ben, unfortunately not this Ben, I would have loved if it was, but a different Ben, in his drunken state says, "Ooh, a shot glass," thinking that my glasses are a shot glass for some reason, and kicked into the street. Like, as hard as he could, he eats my glasses up the street, and they're just destroyed. So for a good week until I could get new frames, I was just completely blind.
Jesus Christ. Why didn't you have glasses on you if you can't see out then?
No, my glasses were on, and I tripped, and they fell onto the ground.
Oh, sorry. God, Jesus.
So, yeah, don't go to Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a fun night out.
Birmingham is just, yeah. It's exactly what Deacon's background in this.
It's white.
Yeah. God. Alex, you alright?
Oh, you know, you mentioned Andrew's black and white picture.
Yeah.
He's actually if you look at his Facebook, I don't think he's in a relationship anymore.
Who was he?
Oh,
I don't know.
God. What? Well, I'm gonna say this has been a fun and eventful podcast once again. We've just been talking pointlessly and chatting needlessly, and that's the point of the name, and that's the point of the show. If
Alright.
Do you guys have one more thing to say, or you guys happy?
No, I got nothing. I got nothing intelligent.
Alex, as our editor, you're mute. Does he know he's mute?
He's watching porn.
He's been muted this whole time. He didn't even know.
He's not just. He's watching some really weird that he doesn't want anyone to hear.
I didn't say that much. I just said, yeah, I'm okay, Aiden, when you asked.
Oh.
I probably said some other things, but oh well. But I said it was nice catching up with Adam again.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen any of you in it.
Yeah, we're so close, yet we just don't talk.
I also said I'm looking forward to the next party.
I agree.
Probably outdrink all of you combined.
As soon as my own place again, like I've actually got my flat sorted, then I'll have everyone round for a little shindig.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have a massive sesh.
Copious amounts of alcohol, copious amounts of dumbass shit. It'll be great.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, this ended is kind of getting away from us. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, I guess. Listen, if you did. I hate you if you didn't. Take care.